Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Daniel chapter 4, verse 17 says, "This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand of the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomever he will, and setteth up over it the basest of men." We're living in a day and age where many of us think we're living in dark times. Many of us believe that the light of this world has kind of gone out, that the hope has been removed. What I like about this verse is the part that says, "To the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men." The Most High is God. You and I hold comfort in knowing that God is still on his throne. And see, this verse was written in this chapter, is what the events that are taking place during this chapter is the Babylonian captivity. And during the context of this chapter, actually, King Nebuchadnezzar has come to Daniel and told him his dream with the hopes of him being interpreting that dream. Now, I'm not going into the dream this morning, and that's not part of my discussion, but what I want to focus on is the part of the verse that says, "To the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men." We can put that in today's context, and doing so by looking at our current events. There were a lot of people that believe that because the election didn't turn out the way they wanted it to, or because of the events that have taken place over the last couple of days, that we're living in a dark, hopeless time. That there is no light left in this world, that there's no hope left for you or I, or for any of the Christians that are walking around on this earth. But you and I hold a knowledge of faith and truth of knowing that the same God that sat in the throne in heaven in the day of Daniel, in the day that he wrote this, in the day that this was written, in the day of the Babylonian captivity, that God is still sitting on the throne today. And because he sits on the throne, there is hope for you and I. You see, you and I are not living in a dark world, living in a dark time with no hope whatsoever. We're living in a time that's been created by God. God knows what he's doing. You and I don't know. You and I don't understand. Daniel didn't understand, I'm sure, why he was brought into the captivity of Babylon. You see, Babylon happened because of the sins of Israel. They sinned against God, and God allowed these things to happen. God allowed them to happen. Man didn't make it happen. King Nebuchadnezzar didn't take over all of these lands and achieve power on his own. He did that because God allowed him to. It's not up to you and I to decide why God does the things that he does. It's not up to you and I to decide whether or not we are going to have light or darkness in our world, or whether or not you and I are going to get the things that we want, the things that we need. What you and I have achieved in life, or what you have gained in life, is not something that you've gained on your own. You've gotten what you've gotten because God is on the throne. You've received what you have because he has mercy. It's up to you and I to share that mercy with a lost and dying world. See, there are a lot of people out there that believe that they are living in a world with no hope. Even people who have received the things that they've asked for. People who have feel like they've won. They're still searching for hope. They're still searching for a light. And that light is Jesus Christ. And as Daniel says here, that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. And I want you to focus on that. Look at the next verse. If you have your Bible this morning, Daniel 4:17 is where we are. At the end of that verse, it says that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. Here it is, listen to this. "And giveth it to whomever he will." You see, God is still the ultimate authority. And he gives that authority to whom he seems appropriate. Given the times, given the situations, given his purpose for that moment. See, we are now under a new leadership in this nation. A lot of people like to call it win or lose. And while, yeah, there may be some dark days ahead for Christians, it's no accident. God did not lose anything. God is still sitting on the throne. God is still in control. But he has allowed the authority that we have today in this country to exist for his purpose, for whatever reason that he has deemed that to be. I think today that instead of becoming angry and looking at this as a hopeless situation, and instead of sitting back and complaining about it, maybe now's the time that we as Christians stand up. Maybe we need to realize that God is the ultimate authority. Man here on earth has no authority. They may believe that they do, and sometimes we as men here on earth, or people here on earth, we like to control our own destiny. We like to be in charge of the things that are around us. We like to make our own decisions and our own choices. And you have the free will to do that. God has given you the free will to do that. But the ultimate authority in it all is God himself. God has given men power to rule. And that he has the power to change that. When it is time for his purpose to change, or when it is time for something to change so that his purpose is fulfilled, God will place the leadership in charge that he deems necessary. Now, there may be some out there today that say, I don't like the current leadership. I don't like the current, my current boss, or my current president, or my current senators, or whoever is you would deem to be an authority. But look at this verse. It says, and giveth, referring to God, and giveth it to whomever he will. Talking about ruling, talking about authority. God gives it to whomever he will. I think today that instead of us as Christians complaining and being angry and losing hope, we need to hold hope and knowledge and faith in knowing that God is in control. Christians, we haven't lost. Read the back of the book. You know who wins. God is in control of this world. He's in control of this country. He's in control of this authority that is over us. He is the ruler of all. My question for you today is he the authority in your life? Have you given your life over to Jesus Christ? Have you allowed God to be the Lord of your life? If you want to know hope today, then you need to surrender your life to the will of God. Oh yes, you have the freedom to choose. You have the freedom to reject. You have the freedom to walk away. But if it's hope that you're seeking, that hope is found in Jesus Christ and Jesus Christ alone. Call on his name and let him be the Lord of your life. Thank you for joining me this morning. I pray that you have a great and wonderful day, and I pray God's blessings on your life this morning.